Hello, sweet friend. My name is Micah, and in this video, I want to talk about journals. I think a lot of us are reflecting on what has been working so far this year for us, and then also looking ahead at 2024 because all of the planners and journals are releasing. And so I thought I show you what has currently been working for me and share some pages with you, do some flip throughs of some of this. So this is definitely going to be a very informal and chatty video. I just hope to keep you company while you either journal or do some chores. I always enjoy when people talk about their journals and what they're doing in their journals. It always gives me ideas on what I want to try out. So let's get into it. So the journal that has recently been most featured on my channel is my Hobonichi A6 daily journal in the avec size. I just started it last month. It's my first time doing daily journaling in this format, in sort of like a creative journaling style. And it's been a little bit of an adjustment. And the only reason why I even got started with this is because I've been enjoying my 5-year journal so much. So this I started at the beginning of the year, and I just write a paragraph every day, and then every now and again include a photo or an illustration or a sticker on the left side. And I realized, hey, this is actually kind of great because it makes me think about my day differently. Like there's even on days where I think nothing has happened, once I sit down and start writing, there's always something, a small little moment or a thought that crossed my mind. So because of this, I was like, hey, well, maybe I would enjoy doing the daily creative journal. What I wasn't so sure about was, is it gonna feel like I'm repeating myself? Because I'm not a big fan of doing the same thing in 2 books. Then I feel like then what's the point in the book if a different book already does that for me? But I have found ways, I think, to make this different, both because it's a lot more visual, but also I think I'm starting to capture different things in here. So this is starting to get into more of my sort of creative thoughts or thoughts as an artist or observations that I make, as well as just general thoughts, where this is more of a diary, sort of this is what I did this day. So I think these are starting to go really well together, and I'm definitely gonna keep going. And I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna upsize to the A5, but I think I'm gonna stay with my trusty A6. It's just so cute and chunky, and even on the days that I don't know exactly what to do, it's easy to fill. Like you just put a big sticker in and you're done. Of course, you can leave blank pages if you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but yeah. Also, I want to speak to feeling sort of obligated to write something every day. Of course, that can start to feel like a chore, and I am definitely a believer of this is a hobby. This should be something that brings something into your life and not take energy away from you. But I actually have found that I'm journaling more, and that is a positive thing. It just reminds me, it's the little like soft, friendly tap on the shoulder that says, hey friend, have you thought about your day today? Have you checked in with yourself? Yeah, so far it's a very positive thing. So that are those. I wasn't going to talk about them much because, again, I feel like I've shared so many videos, but oh well. And then another A6 is this little notebook. It's just a plain Hobonichi notebook. This I just use for writing, just thoughts, just really quickly jotting things down. And so I'm not gonna flip through this very much, but it's just more of a, yeah, just getting things out kind of thing. And that just sits on my desk And so sometimes I even just do ink swatches in there if I just need some paper, some nice paper to just try something out and that kind of stuff. So it's sort of like a desk pal, I suppose. Now, something else I have shared more recently has been my A5 creative journal. I've been creative journaling for almost 3 years now, and I've never tried it in the A5, and I think I talked about this at length, but I was like, well, I could just try it out, see how it works out, and then I think I've shared all these pages with you that come before this, but these are some newer pages. I haven't done much in this notebook, to be honest, ever since I've shared all the previous pages, so there's not much to flip through. That is partially because I have picked up the Hobonichi 6 daily journal, and that has sort of made me not work as much in other journals lately, but also I've been very busy, so that's hard to say. So with this spread, something that I've been trying out more as well is have ongoing lists in my journal that I just work on every now and again, or even like leaving parts of a page unfinished because I feel like there's thoughts that I might have in addition to what I'm writing about later. So just embracing more the sort of work in progress pages. So this is just a cute little spread about my dream home. I've noticed that sometimes I have these very specific things that come into my head about what I would want my home to look like when I hopefully someday buy my own house. And so I just started a list, and I'll just add things to it when they come to mind. So yeah, just a really fun little spread. And then here's a spread that I made because I was inspired by a webinar with Brandy Kincaid from Get Messy. Yes, Get Messy. She did a course on puzzling, and she often works also in phases in her book, and where she has different pieces on her page that sort of come together. And so yeah, this is what I came up with. I quite like that page for sure. This beautiful artwork is by Erin Ware from her Patreon. And then I did these two spreads more like just how I usually do, with a little bit of collaging, but then some writing all around. And then this is where I wanted to do another spread with puzzling, but it just ended up being just these two pieces. I like how they go together. It's quite cute, but yeah, that's just it. I think I did another one, yeah, that I tried in that same way, and I never filled this in either. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's quite working out for me, and that's fine. That's, you know, that's just how it is. Different people journal differently, and I don't think I'm very good at having multiple thoughts or multiple ideas on the same page. I think I like when one thought or one idea or one memory is one spread. And then here I was inspired by these pieces, and then the collaging sort of came together, and then I got interrupted, and so I never filled in the writing, and now it's been a couple weeks and I don't quite remember what the original thought was, so they're empty. And then here I made a list of all the movies that my husband and I watched in July, because we watched so many of them. And then this is blank because I had made this pairing for a social media post, and I knew that I wanted it to be just on its own. And so this is blank, so once I have something that will nicely fit on one page, I'll fill that in and go back to this. But yeah, something else important about this page is that here I was trying to figure out, I definitely want next year in my journal lineup, I want a notebook that is dedicated to some research I want to do into storytelling and aspects of art making. So a very specific sort of research journal. At first I thought, well, let me stick to the A6 because that's what I know and feel comfortable in. But what I realized is that if you write a lot in an A6 book, there's just not a lot of surface for your hand to land on. So it can get uncomfortable pretty easily. So I think I like A6 as long as I'm not doing a lot of writing. And so I thought, well, then maybe go with an A5. Well, then this thought process might seem very esoteric to a lot of people, but I hope that you journalers will understand my plight here. So then I was like, okay, A5, that's great. There's a lot of nice notebooks in A5 out there. But then I realized I want to have a cover for the set notebook that has a pen loop and maybe some place to put some ephemera in it, because I want to be able to have sort of an enclosed ecosystem for it, so that I can have it maybe in the living room, so that I can take notes when my husband and I watch a movie. You know, I want to have it on the go with me if I want to take a book and my research journal and just, you know, do some research while I'm sitting in a cafe. And then I was like, all right, well, Hobonichi makes really nice covers, and they do have the things that I'm looking for. They have a pen loop, and they have a place to put to store some ephemera. Well, you know, tastes are different. I feel like I'm not in love with what's currently available for the A5 on the Hobonichi website, both with the years prior as well as the things that are coming out this year. So that made me question whether or not I want to go with an A5 for this. So then I was like, well, I have been sort of feeling an urge to revisit my traveler's notebooks. This happened both separately as well as simultaneously with my plights with the A5. One, because I have bought this used or pre-loved passport-sized traveler's notebook last year, and I've never used it for anything, but it is just so cute, and I want to work in it because, I don't know, it's just so adorable and portable. And I've seen so many cute setups with these passport-sized notebooks, and it's definitely an instance where it's just sort of like the notebook itself, the outside, wants me to figure out the inside, even though typically I like it better the other way around. I want to have a reason to keep the notebook and then find a cover if I even need one, and in a second step. I found something that hopefully I'll be able to do with this. But let me just talk about this real quick. So I was like, well, let me try and do an entry that in the style that I would do in my research journal or something similar, to see how I, again, feel about the writing aspect and how much I can fit on a page. And I came up with this, and I really enjoyed myself. So this is actually just a quick jotting down of an idea or a question that I realized I had about fairy tales. And so then I ended up also making this little mind map and included a quote, and it was just such a joy to make this page, and it's still very, very functional. So I was like, okay, I think maybe we're onto something here, where I can just do my research journal in a traveler's notebook. And I don't know if I've ever done sort of a flip through of this insert. I started this in the fall, I think, of last year, and I remember really enjoying this. Like, this was notes on a book, The Power of Fun, that I did, and that worked out really well. And then I did a trip to Germany to see my family and did some memory keeping here, more memory keeping. And then this was the week of our trip, which included my sister's wedding. And because there was so much going on, I thought, let me try that sort of like vertical weekly layout that so many people also use for memory keeping. And so I condensed the entire week in the spread, which is a fun challenge, but I don't think I could do that for the entire year kind of thing. And then, yeah, just more sort of like processing thoughts. And then my husband and I did a trip to New York at the beginning of December last year, and I sort of prepped the pages and even printed out some pictures, but I never sort of really went back to it and finished it up. I did a visit to Yuseka, which was so awesome. I tested out some fountain pens and did it in the notebook so I could take it home and think about my choices there. And yeah, while I was flipping through it was like, why did I ever stop working in the regular traveler's notebook size? I like how the pages are coming out, and I love working in it. I'm not sure. So then I skipped a couple pages and did some more, just sort of like my usual sort of creative journaling, processing thoughts kind of things. Yeah, and then did my test page for my research journal, and then even did another page because I was just having so much fun working in this. So yeah, I think I definitely want to bring back the Traveler's Notebook regular size, both for the storytelling research journal as well as a creative journal. So then that'll be together with my Hobonichis. And then I think I might put this aside again for the, I don't know, umpteenth time, because I don't know. It's just like, yes, I can put pages together, which is nice that I showed myself that, but it's just not quite as fun as this. And so I'm just going where the fun is, and I'm going to embrace that. Now, I have hinted at this. I've figured out what I want to do with my passport size. I think I'm going to try this as a art journal. Just because I want to doodle something or try out some watercolors art journal. This is the first thing I've done. It's just a little fairy character, because I just want more enchantment in my life and in my art. And so that's the only thing that's in here. This is actually the just regular white paper Midori insert that actually I think comes with when you buy the cover. And so the person who previously owned this cover had included it for me. And so yeah, I might switch to thicker paper depending on how much I work in here with thick media and things like that. But I think it's great. I think it is gonna be fun. It's just a small little space where I can just have some fun and just do it because I want to do it. Draw characters, draw flowers, just because. They don't have to represent memories. They don't have to represent any deep thoughts. It's just because I want to make marks. So that's what I think I'm going to do in here. And then I've also been thinking, if once I'm through with this A6 desk notebook, I might add another insert in here just to have for some random thoughts. Somehow I always end up with like these note papers on my desk because I'm writing something down that I don't quite know yet where it belongs, in what journal or in what notebook it belongs. So maybe I'll just have a notebook dedicated to that, and then I can just have it bound and not flying around everywhere. Yeah, but speaking of art, something that I'm really happy about is how much more drawing I've done this year in my journals. And that was definitely a goal of mine, to doodle more, to draw more. And there's this notebook here that I got from my mom. It's made by a German company. And here I've just embraced drawing from life again in just fine liner, no color, just drawing things that are around me and then just making just a quick note of why I'm drawing it or what the significance is. Again, haven't done much, but really enjoying this, and I'm hoping to fill more pages in this soon. Okay, and then there's this stack of lovely notebooks. Something that I haven't touched all year, but definitely want to get back into, is my joy journal. I started this last year, and it's just a collection of things that bring me joy. So it's sort of an ongoing journal, not particularly date specific. It's just things that I'm enjoying very much. And if you're new here, at the beginning of the year, my husband and I put everything in our household into storage, and then went to Germany to be with my family for a couple months. And so this was in storage for a long time, and so I haven't filled in any of the joys of this year. So I definitely have to remedy that, because there's quite a few things that I want to have in here. But yeah, this is where I really take my time with the pages, and I think it's just going to be so lovely to have. I think this was a video too. So yeah, this has not been touched all year, but I still consider this active because I'm definitely going to continue working in this joy journal. And then this fabric cover I made myself, and I have a tutorial on my channel on how you can make these. And then this is my other traveler's notebook. This is also pre-loved, the camel, and this is sort of set up for travel. So this hasn't been touched much really either, because I haven't been traveling. It just has the BK sketchbook insert, and then I made myself a folder, and then I just have the zipper pocket with some travel documents in there, which I actually should probably take out of, because knowing me, I will forget that they're in there, and then once I'm traveling again, I don't know where to find them. But I think I might treat myself to another traveler's notebook cover, and then this can just be dedicated to travel and stay set up for travel. Let me know if you use traveler's notebooks and have multiple ones. Do you have them set up for one specific purpose, or do you have one and then switch cover inserts out based on what you're needing? Let me know. I'd be curious. Yeah, if you have also thoughts on what you think you're going to do next year, let me know. I'd be very interested. Have you changed a lot about your lineup since the beginning of the year? I think mine, yeah. I feel like this year is definitely about trying different notebooks and really fine-tuning what works for me. I definitely have a lot of started journals that I haven't finished. I think that's just the result of me searching for things and trying things. But yeah, that's just the way it is, I guess. I hope you found this video, I don't know, helpful or entertaining, or at least enjoyable to listen to. I definitely thank you for sharing this time with me. Until next time, happy journaling!